morning, you lovely people. It's me. I've not done much video recently because I've been doing these, and they're really difficult to film, it turns out, because I can't just keep the thing in one spot. I have to move it around a lot because of the nature of it's all paint marker, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Been working in these, been working in these Molotovs, been doing a lot of working in these Poscas. There's been a lot of that. So what it is is it's really tricky to keep it in one spot like that, because when you get curves and stuff, just an angle sometimes. I find working with paint much more meticulous, because you can't just sort of endlessly. Basically, you've got a drying time. That's the biggest thing about it. For anybody thinking about doing stuff with paint markers, you get a great effect, as you can see. I'm going to show you in a minute some of these below here, and you get a great effect. But the difficulty is you've got a drying time. Drying time on cardboard is not too bad, but it still does exist. And if you put your hand through it when it's drying, you're going to make a mess elsewhere on the piece. And it does happen, unfortunately. You know, happens on just about everything I do. So I can't film it very satisfactorily, because in time lapse it just sort of jigs all over the place and goes upside down, and it doesn't film very well. So I just thought I'd put them all together and show you like this instead. This one on top, I think this was the first one I've done recently. Thought I'd try it out, because I have this sort of thing with paint markers. I get really excited about using them, and then I do it and hate the experience, because it's much slower and I have to do it in a different way. It's a different method, basically. All materials take a different method, as I'm sure most of you have already realised. When you use different markers or pencils or whatever, everything requires a different technique. And I'm using paint markers, the technique is not one that I enjoy the best. So anyway, these were actually rather enjoyable, but like I say, wasn't able to film them. This was the first one I done, and I love that idea of I should have done dark blue, really. That's my favourite. But the beautiful yellow outline and the dark fill, I really like it. Really like that idea. And the yellow, that's a yellow Posca on the outside, and it's strong enough to cover, given a couple of coats. All these, by the way, there are a couple of coats. That's not just one coat. The fill, I think this fill actually was probably only about one coat, and you can see it's a tiny bit patchy. I don't know if you can see that, tiny bit patchy there. And this, I think this was the only one where I sort of got away with as few coats as possible. The other ones are just sort of, bit the bullet and kind of thought, just do it, just do another coat. And most of them ended up getting 3 coats, which is about standard. Some people do more than that because they want it to be like perfect. I don't care about perfect, really. You know me. I don't really care about perfect. I like it to be a bit rough, like me. So there we go. That's the first one. This one has proved very popular. I think this has been the most popular of the lot on Instagram so far. It's that orange and blue combi, isn't it? It's a nice look. People tend to like it. Although it did remind me, for those of you in the UK, when I looked at it, I thought, God, it looks a bit like the B&M logo, doesn't it? Those colours sort of match the B&M logo. But that, of course, is why B&M has chosen that for the logo, because orange and blue is a brilliant combo. Blue and orange, if you ever use blue and orange, orange and blue, it's just a fantastic colour combo. You cannot go wrong with it. Nothing more to be said about that, really. This one didn't quite work as well. I wanted to do a nice little, gaseous cloud around it instead of the bubbles. All that's very nice. Blah, blah, blah. You can see that sometimes, I don't know if you noticed, on these whips that I do, there's not the usual shadows that I put in. And the reason is I don't have a decent enough shade to drop a light shadow in there, like I do with the alcohol markers. I just don't have the right colour. This one, yeah, it didn't pop as much. Ideally, you know, you want a black key line on there or something to really make it pop, because the colours are not, I can't remember the word, contrasting enough. They don't contrast. There's not enough contrast between a hard outline colour, the colour that comes in the background, the fill colour, all that. There's not enough contrast there to make it bang out in your face enough. But that's fine. That's okay. We live and, well, I'd say we live and learn. I just did it anyway. I knew it wouldn't work, but I just like them colours. I love this grasshopper green. It's a Molotov grasshopper green. I love that colour. Love that colour. Very kindly gifted these these colours by Era 1. He sorted me out a bunch of these, and they work like a dream. There you go. So, oh, this is what I've done for Nyack. This is the envelope I'll be sending back to him. That's his hand style. He's done there. Cute that. And I really like that. I really like this colour. I think this is actually a flesh colour, I think, that Molotov do. It's like a classic standard one-tone flesh colour that you'd use for cartooning. Because you can't, there's no shades that offset it particularly. But it's a really lovely colour. And I thought that would really pop with a purple. And I think it worked quite well, actually. I'd rather like that one. There you go. This one, I really hoped this would work better. And in the end, I thought that black outline was probably a bit severe, interestingly. With a very sort of, it's a very dark pink. I love that dark pink that Molotov do. Molotov really good on the pinks, actually. They do about 4 pinks that you can use together. And this is the darkest one. And it's a beautiful colour, I think. And when you put it together with orange and purple, really just gorgeous. You know, sort of violet purple I'm talking about. Gorgeous. But this one, for some reason, it didn't quite work as well as I hoped. Thought maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a bit dark, maybe that's a bit light, maybe that's, I don't know. You can never tell until it's down anyway. But there it is. It exists. And finally, this one. I thought I'd do the old fusion, the old fusion trick. See this in graph quite a lot. What's his name? Motik, that German guy. He does a modern version of this, but it's been around since the old school. This idea about you strip your letters back, and there's bricks underneath or whatever. And I really liked how this come out. That sort of classic. What is it? Nuzo said to me recently. He said, when in doubt, yellow. And I'm inclined to agree with him. When in doubt, yellow. Yellow is a great colour. Do you know, it's interesting. My favourite colours have gone from being pink and purples, which I love, by the way. I really love pink and purples. And I think I've said before, it goes back to the old school days when we couldn't really get pink and purple in paint, in spray paint. And it became everybody's favourite colour because it was really, really rare. And we all used, well, we massively overused pink and purple. But nowadays, yellow has become my favourite colour, and I never thought that had happened. Never in a million years. And if you're doing the yellow, sometimes a red outline really makes it pop. And there it is. There it is. So that's it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. That's the last one. So this is what I've been up to. I'm sorry I couldn't time-lapse them for you. Because it probably would be quite interesting. I might have a go at time-lapsing one. Might be a bit frustrating to watch though, because I'd have to, well, it'd be frustrating to do as well, because I have to keep the thing nailed down like that, so I didn't jump around too much. But I might have a go at doing one. I kind of run out of steam on them. I've done 6, as you can see, and it sort of gets it out of my system, and then I want to move on. I want to get back to doing characters and character work, and I'm busting to do a big epic piece, big kind of jam, big mash-up piece with loads and loads of characters and letters and all sorts of stuff all over it. Maybe colour, maybe black and white, don't really care at this point, as long as it's just a sort of big involved thing. yeah, so I might, I don't know, I'll see how I feel. Something's coming anyway. I've not really got anything in the pipe at the moment. Normally I've got a few videos up my sleeve, but I don't at the moment because I've been concentrating on these. And these, by the way, might do some competitions where somebody gets sent one of these. Obviously they're original artworks, and they're all on the idea is they're all on old envelopes. And so I might send them through the post, or I might just put them on the web shop. I might put a couple on the web shop, and do a couple for competitions or something. Just, if you don't mind, drop in the comments if you'd be interested to buy one, or if you'd be interested to win one in competition. Just let me know, because then it'll give me an idea about if these are particularly popular or not. They seem to be popular on Instagram. Go to my Instagram, cutemkultras, all one word. Have a look. Like I said, they seem to be really popular. A lot of people, interestingly, I think a lot of writers who are letter writers, who weren't particularly into characters, have suddenly started following me because they see that I'm doing this stuff. Not that my letters have got huge variation, as you can see. It's basically the same piece over and over again, but that is how you write your name most of the time. Also, that's how I write my name, because I don't really do letters very much. This is why it's a nice output. Yeah, I know I've said this before, but all graphers, all writers should be able to write a pretty good version of their name, at least. We all need to be able to do letters. That's what defines us as writers. But some of us are primarily and mostly character artists, and that is what I am. I'm a character artist. But hopefully I can pull off a few letters as well. Anyway, there you go. Let me know in the comments what you think of these. Maybe you hate them, maybe you love them. Don't know. Maybe you'd like to win one in a competition, or maybe you'd like to buy one. So just let me know. Drop us a comment and like the video. And if you haven't already, drop us a subscribe. And I will be back with more news very soon.